Well, three, two, one. Hello, everybody. As the countdown is in the books, it's been a while. It's been since Friday. I mentioned to you guys that we do this last night in the broadcast, and we're doing it. We'll give you a quick update on Monarchs Mocha. Let's roll the open in three, two, one. Here we go. Oops, wrong way. What's wrong with today? There we go. What am I doing? Oh, man. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I guess I'm sort of in Monarchs Mocha. There we go. Oh, yeah, the great jam. Still jamming. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Let me real quick today. Adjust the camera there. Glad y'all are along. And we're actually not in Gary, Indiana. We're in Portage, Indiana, which is Gary along the south shore of Lake Michigan. You've got obviously Chicago, south side. You cross into Gary and Gary Hammond, actually Hammond, Gary. There's one more town too, just north. They're all kind of on a line there, the state line. Well, this would be Illinois, and that'd be Indiana, or the way around if you're looking at it. Anyway, you come in, and I've talked about this before. You come out of Chicago, you go to the south side, and then you take the Skyway. The Skyway takes you over kind of I don't know, it's sort of part of an entry canal. Like the Chicago River, but it's not the Chicago River, but it's sort of like that. I think that's Calumet River, actually. And you go over it, and you go into Indiana, and you're in the south. You're basically still in the south side of Chicago, but you're in the Indiana suburbs, and you've got this area, and then you cross in to Hammond, to Gary, and then you've got Miller Beach, which I talked about in the broadcast last night, and now we're in Portage, which is the next town on the lake side. There are other towns south of there. If you go south of the lake shore, going south, you've got plenty of suburbs there and as well. So anyway, I'm gonna check in and make sure how everybody's doing here on the chat. For some reason, my chat's not coming up, but let me pull this up and we will do that. We don't have a lot to talk about today. I want to give you an update. I mentioned this yesterday afternoon on the show or the broadcast. Of course, a day game, 2-1 final. Gary winning that ball game. You don't like to lose games, but I guess the silver lining is you lose a 2-1 ball game. I mean, I'm not saying you ever want to lose a ball game. It's not what I'm saying, but 2-1, great pitching again. And here's the deal: how many times we had a spot start over the years? Let's just go back to the T-Bones or whoever team you follow. When a bullpen day is out there, your best hope is to piece it together. 3 innings here, 3 innings there, 3 innings there, kind of just get through it. Well, the Monarchs didn't just get through it. They were very good yesterday. I mean, the entire staff. And when you just looking at the box score, it wasn't a lot to really talk about the box score, but looking at it from yesterday, as I'll pull this up for you, and here it is. Look at the box score. Not a lot to sneeze at, not a lot to look at, really. I mean, each team, Monarchs had 7 hits. I had 8, but there was a questionable call. There was no official score there, so there's no one to debate. It's their broadcaster versus me. I'll ask again today, but I still think that there should have been an infield single and a base error instead of the one error. But that's just me. But anyway, I will push my case tomorrow, or today rather. Hartman was very good for the Monarchs yesterday. Matt, I don't think there's anything to sniff out there. 4 innings, 2 hits. Pardon me, 2 runs, 4 runs, 4 hits rather. Boy, my wheels are off. The only trouble was that first inning, and once he got going, and you think about it in these terms, okay? Think about it in these terms. You and I in our jobs, whatever it is, we're told, okay, we've got to have this ready instead of tomorrow or Wednesday or whatever, or Wednesday, till Friday, we've got to have it ready now. And so you've got to just go now. I think of Morgan Kalinda, who's a couple of times been pushed into singing the national anthem and done a great job, an awesome job of it when people didn't show up. And, you can imagine when, oh, well, the show must go on, right? The show must go on. We had to play yesterday. So we get in the bus yesterday, and Joe Capietra basically makes the move there. And that's kind of that's what happened. I mean, you find out basically the bus. We didn't find out until we got the pregame yesterday that Matt Hall, who was a pitcher of the week, and we'll get to that in a moment, was scratched in the start. And I'll get to that piece of news in a moment because everything is as we sort of assumed last night. I'll give that to you. But I'll also take your questions and comments. The 4,000 kiddos, that was a scene. And my heart's heavy today. I'm a native Texan, American. And what happened down in Uvalde yesterday is just sickening and heartbreaking. And to see those 4,000 kids yesterday at the ballpark, I don't get it. I'm just, and that really, it's bugged me all day. It's bugged me all night. I had a hard time sleeping last night because of it. Because again, we had a great day yesterday at the ballpark, 4,000 kids having a great time, chanting "Let's Go Railcats." We're getting autographs from the Monarchs. And just having a great time singing and chanting and just at the ball game, missing, spelling or whatever, the ultimate, as I was saying on the broadcast, I'm the ultimate kid and I live for field trips. I mean, I want to be the last ones there at the zoo as opposed to the first bus out, right? I mean, the first bus that left the ballpark yesterday, I don't want to be on that bus. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the one that was late to pick up for carpool, right? And that's me. But yeah, it was cool to see that yesterday. 4,000 kids. We're going to have a game like that coming up in June, our camp day game, which is very similar to that and a very similar atmosphere. Kids will be singing. It's great. The only thing I wish we would have it tomorrow, because tomorrow would be getaway day, and getaway day, you'd actually be in your bed by a decent time. We play, if we left at say 3:00. We'd be back in Kansas City by 10 o'clock at night. You'd be able to tuck yourself in and have a nice night of sleep. Oh, that's not the way it works, though. Monarchs Mocha, glad you are along. Brought to you by the Roastery Coffee Company there in Kansas City. Now, this is not Roastery Coffee. Now, this is the hotel variety I made, which is good here at the Country Inn and Suites, the Radisson Rewards America version. But if I was in KC and I was in anywhere in the vicinity of Roastery, that's where I'd be right now and shoot the show. Now, we're going to do that. We're going to shoot the show from the Roastery coming up very soon. And again, since 1993, very beginning, core purpose to provide the finest coffees I can find, roast them the best way possible, and they deliver to the customers as fast as humanly possible. And again, I mentioned this last year, and I mentioned it over the course of the time we've done this show. They had a great raspberry cold brew last year. Oh, man. I literally rationed this can all season and saved it. That's the last one I got. Anyway, the Roastery, there in KC, they got 6 cafes rather in Kansas City. Brookside, the factory and the factory drive-through, Leawood, Woodside, and then Brookside and Woodside. And Children's Mercy, where our friends at Ronald McDonald House are right next door down there in KC. So the Roastery folks there. Again, questions and comments, I'll take them for you. The update here is that Matt Hall, who was pitcher of the week, we didn't get a show on Monday. The reason we haven't done a show since Monday, because we didn't get here until early in the morning. All-night ride, you're wiped out. Just trying to get it, get sort of your sea legs for a broadcast. Yesterday was a day game, so we couldn't go on because we were playing during the actual show. So today, we have a show today. We have a show tomorrow, and then we'll be back home on Friday. I will come your way a little bit later on Friday, about 12:30 or so, which about this time on Friday, there at Legends Field in Kansas City. So there's that. So maybe we'll have some more to hopefully 2 more games to win to talk about. I mentioned Matt Hall. I apologize. I don't have the graphic for you. I didn't load it in. Morgan did a great graphic for us for Matt, but Matt was named Pitcher of the Week last week, which ended on Sunday. I no arguments there. I mean, the guy is, I think you're going to see that in the course of the seeing, you're going to notice, of course, the season that this guy is going to be as, I'm going to pull this up. Sorry about that. I'm trying to find the picture, photo here. Where are my photos? Here we go. This is the one that we used on the actual show, or on the actual post. I'll show it to you. Put it up there. Production value here. Yeah, Patrick will get you just a moment there, mate. But there we go. There's the shot of Matt Hall. Matt Hall, oops. Vaughn, what are you doing? Gosh, I act like I've not operated this machine, and it's been since Friday, so forgive me. But Matt Hall, Pitcher of the Week, the association, and I just great. And the thing that's really cool, and I'll play this for you guys on Friday, and I'll get to it. And I was hoping to do it today. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I want to play you the video cut of Joe telling the team. It's kind of cool behind the scenes stuff. Now, the audio is not really good because it's shot by me in the bus with it's not a boom mic, but it's pretty good. And I think you guys will just enjoy a little 20-second clip of Joe saying that and the guys clapping. It's just kind of nice little moment to see behind the scenes of the ball club. And I'll get that for you guys tomorrow or Friday, but I'll get to it. I promise. We're almost caught up for the week, but we'll get to it. But Patrick, did I notice Abreu limping over the weekend? No, I didn't. And he looked fine here yesterday. And the first night of course, the Monarchs were the first night 7-0. Kansas City's allowed just 2 runs here in this series in 18 innings. So while it's a 1-1 series, KC has outscored them 8-2. I mean, granted, there's no aggregated score like the World Cup or qualifying or whatever, but no, Patrick, I didn't see that. But that would be on the Swope Health Report, brought to you by Swope Health, the official healthcare partner of your Monarchs, if he was on there. But I'll ask today, Patrick, on the broadcast. You can tune in tonight on MixLR, and I'll hopefully have an answer for you. But I'll ask Joe. He didn't mention it to me yesterday or Monday, and we ask about those issues every day in the second segment of the Top Step, and he didn't mention it to me. So I think we're okay. But again, guys, somebody asked me too about Matt Hall, why he was sort of limping a little bit. It was because he does have that little groin issue. So the update on Matt, he will not pitch tonight, and I sort of assumed that last night, because Akeem Bostic and Lewis Thorpe are both here. And I brought this up on the broadcast. It's kind of a catch-22 here, because if you moved them back and you moved in Hall tomorrow, one of those guys is going to go all night and pitch on Friday, Thorpe in this case. You don't want to do that. So I think what you do is, and I believe John Harris stayed back is the way I understood it. And I believe but still, usually that's the case. I know somebody's got to ride all night. We've had it happens all the time, but you try to avoid that if you can, if you can all possibly avoid that. I believe the trip was set up like that. Yes, yeah, it was. You're right. Spot on, Mom. You're spot on. Yeah, I was just watching. I read about it and I watched a little bit of it last night. I watched the NBA and I did a little. I didn't want to watch a lot, but I did watch a lot this morning. And again, I'm not. This is not my channel. This is the team channel. So if you want my thoughts, I'll give them to you in my place. But I don't think there's anyone out there that'll disagree with me that there's no. I don't get it. No rhyme or reason, and I just don't get it. And I think what really hit me hard yesterday is that we were so busy in our world that I didn't know until I was told at dinner with our dear friends the Skonurskis last night from here in town. And I'm like, what? And it didn't matter if it was in my home state or wherever. There's no reason for that ever. And I just don't get it. I don't get it. And again, I think what really hit me yesterday was the fact that we had all those kids there and, their lives are in front of them and they're enjoying a day that they well deserved for a great school year. And those kids in Uvalde were 3 days away from summer break. I mean, it's terrible. So, anyway, but yes. Again, let's go back to the issues at hand. I get the thing was derailed a bit there by the sadness. Sorry about that. But I'm an emotional guy. You know this. You people know this. I don't hide that. I think I just don't hide it. I'm not going to put up a I don't care face. It's like I tell you guys all the time, you can't, in general, and I hope this comes off in the broadcast that you guys understand this, that my passion and my desire to be human comes out in the broadcast. So what I mean by that is you can't travel with Joe Capietra, Bill Sobey, and John West, and then you get to know Mike Hinneman and Frank White, and you can't get to know these players, Casey Gillespie and Darnell Sweeney and Jan Hernandez, and the list goes on and on. You can't get to know these new guys as well, the Matt Adams and Jacob Lindgren. I mean, the list goes on and on of guys, Keem Bostic. I mean, I can just see the whole roster. You can't get to know these guys and their ups and downs and the ins and outs of them and just their personalities and not become attached emotionally and have some human feelings to them. And I don't think this business of broadcasting has a lot of that. I mean, there's a lot of these guys that'll tell you, they can tell you this, and that's fine with me. They'll tell you, hey, you know what? I don't care. It's just a job. I'm going to call the games and win or lose, but I'm a journalist. Yeah, you're a person too. Now, if I was writing a game story, writing a story about the Monarchs for the Star, different story. But I'm actually in the ends here. So you have a human nature. So if I get a little emotional about things, I do. That's just me, and I hope it comes off and I hope you enjoy the broadcast because of it. So anyway, yeah, things will go well soon. Chase, I don't think there's any reason to worry about what's going on because the Monarchs are a game above. You've got to take into account all the things that are going on, and there's really there's no warning signs of anything negative. There's nothing but positive vibes. The team is going to be fine. I was thinking about this morning. This offense is going to get going, and when it does, look out. When it does get going, look out, because right now, and I think the post of the association yesterday was about the pitching staff. It had the last 5 times the Monarchs have started. I mean, it's been phenomenal. I think going into yesterday, and I think you add the 2 runs yesterday, it's 5 earned runs and 39 innings now. I think that's right for the starters. That's 6 times through, including a bullpen start. Feel pretty good about that, right? And your bullpen's been great. ERA about 1.27. That's probably exceeding what you thought the staff was going to do with the off. And eventually they're all going to come together and they're going to be in the same parallel path. So I don't think there's anything to worry about. Nothing wrong with yeah, Brad, you know this. You're an emotional guy too. And I wish you well done in Texas. I did tune in last night for just a few minutes. It's one of the rare nights we were off last night. One of the rare nights last night where I was able to tune in to Cleveland and Chicago, and I flipped back and forth and listened to a little bit of each. And then I went and watched the Mavericks get literally rained on in a game in Dallas last night, and then kind of enjoyed the rest of my evening just kind of kicking on Netflix. But by the way, I'm into Barry on HBO, the Max, whatever the HBO app. Barry and Hacks, and do you guys want to know what I'm watching? And Frankie and Grace. I'm almost wrapping that up. Yeah. What's wrong with me? What am I? Yeah, Brad, I would agree with you, and I think that's important. And I hope, and I'll say this, Brad, and I think Brad, if you don't know Brad, you guys watching, he's the voice of the Cleveland Railroaders. And it takes a certain, and I remember this, I'll take you a story way back, and I wasn't going to stay on long, but I will, because we go into this hole here. Years ago, I was in Jacksonville, and we were playing a team. I won't name the team because I think this guy still works maybe in the NBA. I'm not sure. Maybe I just gave it away. But they were a big rival, and they had owned the league for a while. And the gentleman came in and was whinging about our press box food that we were giving out I think we served hot dogs and whatever. I mean, I can't remember what, but it wasn't like a fancy spread like they had at his place. And he was kind of dog cussing, sort of not dog cussing loudly, but mumbling cussing about the way we ran our business up there. And because he was from a fancy, it was one of the new organizations in the 90s. It was brand new, great logo. They were the thing, right? And I'm not proud of this moment, but I had a bit of a moment where I had to get in his face and he was lucky he didn't get tossed out of the press box, which in that place, Old Wolfson Park, was about 3 stories, and he would not have survived. Just, I always say would have done that. I'm just kidding. But I mean, just saying, I mean, it's one of those deals where you're just like, dude, you're in my place and you're talking about my team, about my brand, about what we're doing and what my ownership's doing. And I was like, and you don't do that kind of stuff. And so I think that you have a passion about what you're working. I defend the brand. I also respect the other brands too. I respect what the Garys are doing, what Cleveland's doing, and all that. And Brad gets it. You get it. Brad knows this. You can't. I know Brad's got relationships with several players in Cleveland that are dear friends of his and his family. You can't get to be around those people. You can't become a daily fixture in someone's life, even if it's passing. Just, hey, how you doing? And not once in a while. It's like I told you guys on the broadcast on Monday. Jacob Lindgren wanted to see that he'd never been to Gary. He wanted to see the ballpark and how the view was for me. So Jacob followed me up to the press box on Monday night when I set my gear up and wanted to check it out. Those are the kind of relationships you build in this business. And I think the passion comes through. And I know Brad has it, and I hope you guys appreciate it. So anyway, we got kind of caught up with some other stuff there. But not sure about him, but Gabby definitely was yes. No, Gabby was, Kim. Gabby was day-to-day. No, Gabby played on Monday night. He played yesterday as well. Gabby was fine. He probably could have played on Sunday, but one more extra day. And that's the deal with Matt Hall too, Kim and everybody. Hall could have pitched yesterday. He wanted to pitch yesterday. He wants to pitch tomorrow, but they're going to skip him in the rotation. Akeem Bostic will go tonight. Lewis Thorpe tomorrow. We'll have Hall back in his spot again next week, which will be Lincoln. What will that be? Because it'll be Harris, then Belzer, and then he would go in the opener against Lincoln. So that's the way that shapes up. So it's going to be a skipped rotation one time. Joe Capiatra telling us on the top step yesterday, brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers, of course, that he has to sometimes, as a manager, navigate what's best for the player, even if the player doesn't know what's best for them. Does that make sense? I'm paraphrasing what he said, but you have to make those calls sometimes. And he made the call to, hey, let's skip a time. And as much as that game would have been great to win yesterday, you didn't win. You didn't lose the game because Matt Hall didn't pitch, right? You lost the game because their guy Garcia pitched very well. Their bullpen, Phillips, was able to keep the Monarchs offense only get one run. I mean, their pitching staff shut us down yesterday. That's why you lost. You didn't lose so Joe has to take the vantage point of, hey, this is the best for the organization and for this player, not the player, not the organization, the player. And that's what he did there. So anyway, tonight on the network, let's pull this up. There we go. Then I get smaller, which makes me look better. By the way, I promised you guys I'd get to a coffee shop here, but the closest shop down the street's a Starbucks, which is great. I go to my normal Starbucks in the off season almost every day, WD-40. But I like to get out and find some unique ones. And there's nothing really right here proper. They're more toward the ballpark and back toward the city. And my mom's here, but we weren't going to drive there. We're going to go have a quick lunch where she heads back to Elkhart. But tomorrow, I promise you, when we get to Milwaukee and to places like that, we will shoot the show in someplace. Sioux Falls, one of the places we shoot at. We love going downtown to shoot the show. One more swallow. We're done here. Final call and questions and comments again tonight. It'll be Akeem Bostic. And he is facing, where are my game notes? Where are my game notes here? Where are my game notes? Right here. Let's see here. Do I have them written down here? I think I do. It'll be Harrison Francis, who has got no record of 4.90. A lot like game one, you got a situation where a guy has done some bullpen work, but hasn't been stretched out to start. And that's kind of what you're going with here tonight for them. Bostic was very good last time out, been very good so far. And he will go tonight here in Gary. I hope to have highlights, but I'm having a little trouble getting those sorted. But we'll try to we have highlights at home. We've had them at home, but we usually get them on the road. The process of recording them is a bit of a pain. And we'll have to work on something. There's supposed to be a clearinghouse to grab them, and there's not at the moment. So you guys don't care about that. We'll worry about that. Last call here. Everybody else, everything else seems to be fine here. There is rain. We'll tell you that. It rained this morning overnight. I did my walk about an hour ago, and it wasn't raining there, but it had rained pretty heavily. And it's supposed to get, I just watched the weather in Chicago. And it's supposed to get warmer this afternoon with a warm front and maybe some boomers coming in. And they're expecting some heavy rains later on, but it could rain in the city and it can be dry as a bone here. It can rain here and be dry as a bone in the city. Just because the way the lake sits, if you guys have, I've talked about before, this is, well, that's it. I'll bring this down so you can see a little better. This is, we're going to reverse it here, but this is Chicago right here. Which would be, for you guys, it'd be right here. So I got to do it this way. That's Chicago right there. And then it zips around to the lake. That's the Indiana side. Then it bends around to Michigan right there, right? Can you guys see what I'm saying there? So Chicago here, and then Indiana right there. But that lake view, that bottom of the lake, you can get winds, because the wind's coming out of the south right now, and it's blowing back toward the northwest. It's actually bending over us and blowing back toward the city of Chicago and creating a swirling effect. You get a swirl effect here, which brings that moisture, say from Wisconsin or west of Chicago. I feel like a weatherman here. And that prevailing wind, which just happens a lot, will swing around and blow what they call the lake effect back at you. Or it'll come just due out of the north. If it comes off the north, the lake effect snows in the winter get brutal going east of here. So you got the summer lake effect, which comes around from the west, blowing south from the south. The north wake, the wintertime comes this way, and it just pounds this area with moisture. And you never know what it's going to be like. So we'll hope you guys will tune in tonight. Again, great crowd on the air the last couple of days. I'm very thankful. Please tell your friends and neighbors. I did reach out to the league on behalf of the Monarchs to what the deal is with the road audio or the video stream. We've provided it for the visitors for our ballpark. We didn't get provided here. I don't know what the situation is. There's some confusion. So I reached out hoping to find out an answer in the next couple of days, but we were told we'd have a stream going with our audio on the video on aabaseball.tv. We haven't had it yet, but we hope to have it. But anyway, you know where to find us on the Monarchs Broadcast Network on the radio side. And I'll put the link up right here for you. So you guys should go there. And we've had some great conversations, great time on the air. And after listening to Brad last night and listening to Sam a little bit from Chicago, we got a lot to work. We all have a lot of really good fans in these towns. And I'd love to create a really cool, like, fan interaction between all of them. I don't know how to do it. I'm kind of brainstorming here, but listening to their broadcast and the fans' reaction, there was some, because I can see, it's funny because there's always each one of you that watches and listens to us, there's one of you in Cleveland doing the same thing that's a lot like you. And there's like this big, huge club. I'd like to see us kind of grow this huge club on MixLR and all that. But anyway, I'm brainstorming here, but there's the link tonight. We'll be on the air because we're at 6:45. We're going to go at 6:20. And the reason is we do 5 less minutes on the road because Jackson's not with me. Jackson's in Florida vacationing. Well, sort of. He actually want to see Cody Mincy tonight, former Monarch, pitch down there in the Southern League. So that's exciting. But Jackson will be back. Go Monarchs, Sean. Go Monarchs. Good to see you out there, mate. Sean always tuning in. But you guys can catch us tonight on the broadcasting end. Let me put that up one more time for you. There we go. I don't know why I'm so. There's the A Baseball TV. That's where the video is, but it'll just be the audio of the Railcats. And then if you want to hear me, which I hope you do, there you go. Tonight, I'm going to dive in a little bit more in Monarchs Flashback Moment, brought to you by Coors Light. I just scratched the surface, I think, of the 1942 game in Wrigley Field. And I want to talk a little bit more about that, perhaps, maybe in Monarchs 101, but I've seen some really interesting things. Yesterday, we talked about it on the flashback. The Monarchs played in front of a larger crowd at Wrigley Field against the all-star team of Dizzy Dean's All-Stars that played at the south side of Old Comiskey Park, the Indians and White Sox. This was back in May of 1942. And I thought it was pretty cool that the Monarchs outdrew playing Dizzy Dean's club. It was at the time, Dizzy Dean had retired, become a sportscaster, a broadcaster. I think they called him a radio announcer at the time in St. Louis. And he had, but he'd come up and did this all-star game and was some all-stars and AAA guys. And the Monarchs won, but a larger crowd than the South Side by 10,000. Not like by 100, by 10,000. We'll discuss something like that tonight. I don't know if there's more to the story there. I want to look more into it, but maybe we'll just talk a little bit more about that tonight. Maybe a part 2. Also, Monarchs 101 with DV. We'll look at some of that deep content. I talked a little bit over the weekend. We discovered a Hawaiian player who was of Chinese descent who was trying to crack the big leagues as well, who played against the Negro Leaguers over the years. It was every bit of a contemporary of them trying to crack the big leagues. We'll talk about that. Hey, Nicholas, how you doing, mate? You doing good? Good to see you. You guys get that field fixed? But was that what was that? Was that am I remembering that right? Was that Friday or Saturday? I don't remember. All the days run together for me. But Nicholas, good to see you, mate. Good to see you. All right, last call. Again, tonight, 6:25, we'll have Joe Calpiatra as well, and we'll have your Around the American Association brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers, and that'll be tonight on the Monarchs Broadcast Network. Hope you'll join us again at 6:45 first pitch from Gary, Indiana, and we will be on the air again at 6:25 tonight. Hope you join us. You guys ready for some 1, 2, 3 go Monarchs? I know I am. Let me bring this down. Oh, my gosh. The lighting kind of makes my hair look kind of cool. Yes, it was Saturday. Nicholas is a really cool dude. We have some, and I was talking about them. Can I just give me a moment here before I close out? My staff is awesome. Okay, I've got the best. I will tell you this right now, and I know other teams might be watching. Your media relations team is second place to mine, period, in the story. Now, granted, you may produce better game notes, maybe. Yeah, you might, probably. But my staff, what they turn around and what they've done this week, and they are talk about, jumping the fire. I mean, Jackson and Caitlin are returnees, and they knew what was going on, and they jumped right in the fire. And they just were there a day ago. And then my new guys, Adam and Gabriel, have been phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. And Caleb starts this weekend. And then I look down there, and Nicholas and his crew, it's part of the crew that works stadium ops and promotions. They're awesome. We've got an awesome crew and our game day experience associates there at the ballpark. They're awesome. These phenomenal young men and women that are working for the Monarchs. We are so blessed to have them, and I'm so proud of them. They really are cool. They all, they see this old guy that kind of, blurry-eyed because Jay Hendricks and I are the last ones to leave along with John West, every night. They see us blurry-eyed the next day, and they're all, hi, how you doing? And it's a good crew. And Nicholas is one of them. Came up the booth this weekend, and he's a good dude. A really good group of guys and gals that are working for us there at the Monarchs. So a big thumbs up, man. Sorry my crew couldn't help you out, though. They had media things to do. I still know what Jackson was doing, but I know what Gabriel and Adam were doing. But Jackson was just kind of – I think if you looked, Jackson's feet were propped up, I think. Anyway, much love to you guys. We'll see you in the broadcast tonight. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you guys a little earlier tomorrow, around noonish tomorrow. We may have to go to the Starbucks down the street, but what, big deal, right? As my coffee cup's done, it's lunchtime for me. Brought to you by the Roastery Coffee Company there in Kansas City. Go by and see those folks. 6 locations throughout town, one near you. And see you Friday as well, mate. See you Friday as well. And we'll be back home on Friday night, 7 o'clock, Sioux Falls. Those Canaries come to town, the Yellowbirds. First things first, these rail cats on the South Shore. Go Monarchs. You guys, let's run the cats out of town, Sean. Let's do it. Everybody ready? Run the cats out of – that's the new cheer tonight on the broadcast. Run the cats out of town. For the Go Monarchs. All right, 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. Everybody ready? Ready. I'm ready. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. I'll see you tonight in the broadcast, everybody. How about some coffee music to say goodbye to, huh?